My dear friends, I'd like to introduce our guests of the discussion. Online, we are going to get the representative of Skolkovo Institute, Mr. Safronov, the president of the Scientific Institute named after Zelinsky, it's Mr. Li Fan. Deputy head of the Omsk Technical University, Mr. Mayevsky. Good afternoon. And offline, we are going to have the Vice President of the Fund of Strategic Development, Ms. Turunova, Rector of Ufa Petroleum University, and Rector of Medical University, Mr. Baulin and Mr. Pavlov. So, Ms. Turunova, you are the first one to be addressed to. It is clear about the talented and passionate students coming from abroad. It gives the diversity to the universities. But we are talking about the export of education. And is it something we have to do? How can we challenge it in such difficult conditions, even more difficult than it was last year? We have geopolitical, social, language, and cultural, linguistical and cultural differences, and it is more difficult to make this decision to move abroad, to go to another country. It is a double responsibility, and we are facing tough times here. Do you have any recipe? Do you have any solution for this? You are taking the floor.
Thank you very much, Alexander. Now, let me congratulate you on the complicated competition and your victory, because I am aware which applications we had. It is a comprehensive and bulky competition. And I know that we had the competition committee which faced difficulties. We haven't also mentioned another competition which we haven't won. It is the heart of Bashkortostan. Definitely it's the facility of strategic initiatives, and this application won. We selected 17 winners. We were part of the committee, and the choice was really complicated because the natural beauty of Russia is well known. Still, we estimated the quality of the team. Let me mention your activity and intensity of the Republic. And let me thank the government for participating in these initiatives for region development. As for the issues we do face, the pandemic, the exports of education takes place, but it has shrunk this year. It has plunged in all the countries when people cannot come here physically. Still, the university's activity is focused on restructuring the strategies and looking for new forms of existence. And the educational process will also have figures, we also have the special estimation. But as for the global leaders of education, who are part of Times Higher Education, who are occupying the leading positions, and also the Shanghai rating of universities. All of them were dealing with hybrid forms for a decade. And also our Russian leaders of education did, such as Higher School of Economics. It declared that 50% of educational inflow lectures will take place online, and it happened 3 years before the pandemic. The pandemic has reinforced some items, well, in the points in which we were rather sluggish. But why do we actually need the campus? Why do we have to invest in the buildings? Why are we shaping new spaces? From my perspective, it is also a simple answer, because higher education is not only encompassing transferring information from the lecturer. to the students. First and foremost, it is based on the innovative activity. As for technological universities, they represent technical parks. They have only 50% of educational rooms. Last year, I went to German universities, to Mainz, to Hamburg, to Austria, to Manchester. These universities are restructured to a new type, and they are based on the innovative activity. These conglomerates look differently. What does also digitalization provide? You were dealing with the inter-university campus and tight cooperation between the universities of Bashkortostan. Our global leaders have complex global collaborations, and universities start leasing each other's premises for this innovative activity. It seems to me that you should look who are your key partners are in the basic areas of specialization. And now we have a viable chance to build them up and to make them more productive. We all hope that we will overcome the pandemic. As for the campus, apart from the innovative activity, we are aware of the fact that education implies social links and also social networks. In some areas, they are weaker, whereas in other areas, they are stronger. Lots of Russian universities are enhancing the capabilities of their associations, which contributes to financial welfare of universities. The longer we have our graduates in our university, the more resources we invest in their promotion, the more beneficiaries we have. If we don't do it, we live on federal financing. And all the leaders are trying to refrain from it right now. In Russia, we have federal financing, but our leaders are going to refrain from it in order to have new forms of collaboration of educational institutions, which include not such as this kind of cooperation of innovation and education, and also scientific centers as a chance to create new enterprises at the university campus. And we also have these enterprises at the SEZ. And each region will apply these tools. The figures will change a lot in the system of education, and the role of campus will look differently. Still, it will be strong and powerful, and your drafting and the spaces you draft will give you a chance to create new formats of activity and communication. And this will guarantee successful projects for 30 to 50 upcoming years because this investment is long-term. Now we can calculate their efficiency, and the multiplier effect is complicated. I communicated with the drafters and the projectors of the Vienna Economic School. It was a dilapidated region with terrible crime indicators, and they intentionally created this campus in this region. We are all aware of the library projected by Zaha Hadid. It is an enormous complex with handling 6 buildings, and they were projected by architecture agencies, and the projection was created by a an Austrian company which is now in Vienna. And we managed to integrate this territory to the city. And it is also of paramount importance. Directors are aware of the fact that the key problem of our university is detachment from the city. We should solve this problem within your project. If you have questions, I'll answer them during the discussion.
Thank you very much, Ms. Trunova. We take into account how experienced you are in the educational processes of our country. And our council is relying on your attitude. We are optimistic. Yeah, it's positive. I heard that we can design different complexes for education, and I actually haven't come up with this idea before. And I think we could design campuses in different designs. In this case, that your consultation is over. Thank you very much for your trust. So, dear colleagues, I would like to say one more thing in the introduction speech. All our 6 universities entered the UFA Research Center of the Academy of Sciences of the Republic of Bashkortostan. But we have one more unique member, one more participant that could have influenced our victory. It is the Center of Science and Technology. They became the participant of our Eurasian project, and all the applications were interregional collaborations, units. But Samara is going to use 6 different regions, but to my mind, it's too difficult to manage such a huge geography. But I guess they knew what they were going for. But our collaboration is manifested through the participant who can be worth 2 dozens of other participants. They are full of young and cool people. They teach students in English. They have extremely cool laboratories, and the teachers and the education professionals are experienced and profound, and I highly respect them. And I'm really proud that the representative of this participant is with us today. You are the best campus ever. If you visit the campus, you should go there and they will give you a guide. I guess it is one of the best educational centers in the country. And they use laboratories borrowed from California Technical University. And the solutions that they are using are a point to be proud of. And I'm really proud of the research activities that our scientists are making. So I am happy to give the word to Mr. Safonov, the representative of Skolkovo Institute. So you are given the floor. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this invitation. Thank you for this flattering speech. And I congratulate you and myself with the victory. I guess we will have a good time working together. To begin with, our institute was created as a key element of the such institutions, and our task is to develop and improve competences that are not enough given in those or these educational institutions. We should fill in the gaps. We have an international status. We were created in the partnership with MIT, and such a form of cooperation helps us to solve our main task, to attract innovations. And we cannot bear as an international educational institution without overseas students. But overseas students is not our additional activity, it's our main business, it's our major business. We cannot go on without them. We are working on AI, photonics, and efficiency boost technologies. We focus on natural, technical, and mathematical sciences. The international language of communication is the English language, and we cannot go on without English language with our international students. We have to develop programs in the English language, but it's only the first step to develop them. We have to involve our students and our teachers. Of course, we have to attract and engage international teachers, but it costs a lot of money. So it is important to have enough number of international students in our educational university. A lot of them do not speak the Russian language, and that's why we managed to create the multicultural English-speaking community, and our community becomes competitive. For 3 or 4 years of postgraduate program, they managed to create the strong collaboration. And throughout the pandemic, we managed to attract even more students that we have managed before. We have 25% of overseas students among our abiturients. And it is related to the fact that many colleges and schools in the USA are closed and they do not invite any students, so it is now our mission. It is important to remember that attracting international students is not a sprint, it is a marathon. Those who form ratings of international educational institutions point out the importance of exhibitions, and these exhibitions invite students who are at the age of abiturients and those who are too young. But they get used to you and they learn something about you and they have to speak English. There are some exceptions. When we were in China at the exhibition, we faced the fact that they are speaking Chinese. Even you Stanford, if you are the best, I know, Ivy League university, you still have to speak Chinese. It is pretty strange in China, but it should be taken into account that they are going to study in English further on. And the landing pages of universities now should be not only in English but in Chinese. Mr. Li Fang, I opened the page of your university in Germany and you have 3 languages, English, Chinese and German. Today, you also said about the new campus, and we are fans of this idea. Traditionally, it was believed that the campus is a dormitory, is such a residual building, but it's not right. If we want to get best kids in town, if we want to get best students, we have to think about the new structure of campus. I'm not talking about the millions of rubles that are supposed to be spent, but you should, for example, engage our students to the design of the campus. They maybe can paint the walls, can build their own campus, because these are the participants of this process. They are not just children who are invited to the world of adults. They are the full right participants of the process. They are supposed to be leaders of science, high tech, and business in the future. And the idea of building a new campus is the right idea. And campuses of the universities are already existent, but it's important to build a brand new one. Previously, I mentioned the issue of money, because it is important. We think it is really important to attract overseas students, to engage them into marketing. Not just to draw a nice picture, but in order to calculate. We want to teach them that they should put effort, they should invest, they should work, and that's why we will be attractive for the overseas students. It is important to realize how important it is to have marketing competences, how important it is to put efforts, and we want to build this relation between the efforts and the result. We have to use modern marketing tools, digital tools, and we want to use them and make use out of them. Students from Spain prefer to stay in their own country in 80% of cases, but Italian students, vice versa, are ready to move out of the country majorly. It means that we should take into account these facts, and with regards thereto, we have to build our processes. There are peculiarities that we have to know, and we should form competences in the regards thereto, and we should implement them with our strategical partner, the Republic of Bashkortostan.
Thank you, Alexander. I totally agree with the ideology of championing the inter-university campus, which you have mentioned. It is the place for creating, for spending time, leisure time, because we're competitive, and our competitive stories are related to the fact that a person who has perfect basic knowledge and who is capable of entering different international university will define his choice by the environment in which he will have to live. When my different colleagues and friends and employees tried to grasp me on my hands and to leave this campus at the plant or in the town, let us prepare them at the plant buildings or here at this area of the city at 2 hectares. It is possible to do it and even to erect skyscrapers in this area. Still, we reject it because there are 15 of them and we have a chance to expand it. There is also the sports area and the workout room, and it will also give an impetus to develop this urban region. And it is also a microsystem in which we will feel comfortable. Thus, we decided to transfer this campus. Still, we have this partner, and we are delighted to have this partner. Now we're dealing with the experts of education. Valentin, you have more students than Alexander does, don't you? Yes, you have more foreign students. Could you please tell the accurate figures? Over 1,500 out of 4,800. Almost 40% of them are foreigners. Thus, it is important for us to understand which KPI we should have for exporting education and how you can actually see this area, which experience your university has stockpiled, and how we enter this track of the scientific and research centers of the global level. Thank you, Alexander. Yes, we realized that we need foreign students in order to move forward. And the society should have 7% of migrants and 30% of foreign students should study at the university. Well, sorry, I'd like to show my presentation. Yes, we are bound to live in the new conditions when the circumstances are against us. We built up our expert potential. It is not only expert of education, but also of healthcare. Yesterday he was a foreign student, and tomorrow he will be a foreign patient, and he will come to the university clinic. Alexander, yes, we are pioneers, and we were moving forward toward these figures. Here you can see our dynamics. We have more than 2,000 foreign students, and we take advantage of all our growth opportunities, and we will reach 5,000 foreign students, and now we are calculating the contribution into the economy of the region. It is the direct contribution. The cost of studies is multiplied by 4, and we realize how much money is generated by a foreign student. We saw the cost of education for foreigners, 250,000 rubles, and each foreign student generates 1 million rubles in the economy of the region. And now we are involved in the governmental program, and it is our basis. In order to change the paradigm of education, we should understand that each graduate of the bachelor's or degree chose another trajectory 10 or 15 years ago. When he enters the university at the age of 17 or 18, he cannot understand what a doctor's job is. It is really interesting for us to diversify the educational projects. We may also open new educational directions. We are currently launching them. And we use the potential of the Republic. We handle students from 54 countries. We are an unparalleled system. We were also oriented at the Islamic world and the Arabic world. 40% of the population are Christians, 60% are Muslims. And definitely we're applying the potential of the Arabic world, and we can see our educational strategies. We necessitate diversification, and we have to expand our presence in the regions with hyperpopulation and baby boom, as well as demographic explosion. What do we need for exporting education? Invariably, we need to prepare to train the modern doctors. It is the educational content which complies with the modern requirements. It is service infrastructure, the diploma which will be acknowledged. We are moving in this direction with our partners, with the Ministry of Healthcare of India, Malaysia, Tajikistan. We're improving our services in order to have our diplomas recognized, and 60 or 70% of our graduates may confirm their universities when they arrive in their countries, in their home countries, and our graduation courses are focused on their accreditation at the new place of their work. We have different financial facilities, credits, loans, and other financial resources which were mentioned by our colleagues. At present, our government is focused on medical education, and we see increased number of recruiting students in our key doctor directions. And what is happening now? We're moving to our great dream. All the Russians will study at the cost of the Russian Federation, whereas all the foreigners will study the cost of their own earnings. And we are moving in this direction, as our Skolkovo representatives told us. The pandemic enabled us to drastically increase the recruitment of foreign students. It was increased twofold. Those who were aware of the trends created the infrastructure. The number of our foreign students doubled compared to the previous year. Obviously, the coronavirus allowed us to take the initiative. Skolkovo is tackling online platforms and creating the individual environment, expanding the presence Lots of initiatives were implemented by the university. If we stop developing the experts of education, we will plunge on the whole. The SCO created this special roadmap where we discovered new channels of attracting expanded geography, swift accounts, and cross-border events are a focus of our attention, which take place in India and Pakistan. My friend told me that he was worried with the facts that were happening in these countries, but they cannot implement their ideas because their banks do not function. And different new forms of education and network programs will definitely take place. The pandemic did not scare us. And our commission was creating the English-speaking environment. We organize different training programs for teachers. They are free of charge, and we are involving the professors, the faculties. 18 people are working at universities. We can see professors who are famous in their countries. You can see their publication criteria. For example, we are now arranging the course on surgery, on face surgery, on maxillofacial surgery. It was initiated by Jürgen Hoffmann, who is the head of the Heidelberg University Department. He is the maxillofacial surgeon. And we spend funds for the participants. They are free of charge. 300 participants were enlisted in this course, and they come from Moscow and other regions of the Russian Federation. And it is an element of the marketing strategy which allows us to earn money. And in the future, it will be a significant segment of our income, of our revenue. We are creating the polylingual environment, and we have implemented the special programs for winter and summer holidays, and it is a continuous process. We have different summer and winter schools. We invite students from other universities, and we're also involved in the schools based on Zelinsky University, which is presented by the vice president of Phi University. And our university is engaged in all the online networks, online document presentation. We're delighted that the pandemic hasn't scared us. We're doing our utmost to attract our talented graduates. It is the first time when we have over 15 winners of all Russian Olympiads, and many of them gained 100 points. And we're promoting this direction in order to attract our foreign students. Before we got the embassy's requirements, we managed to use their basic exams, which were similar to our state university, and the Indian universities, students who got less than 70 points could not enter our university. It is this level in which we're operating. We're also implementing programs for accreditation exams jointly with the employees of our embassies. We have more than 60 agreements, but they were concluded in order to provide the chance to foreign students to go to internship. During the pandemic, over 150 foreign students and other students were involved in red zones of COVID hospitals. We're dreaming of enhancing our presence. In other case, we would have opened the branch of our university at different areas and different areas. We have the contingency of 1 million who will go to Oxford and Cambridge via petrodollars, Arabic petrodollars. And the contingency involved the base, such as the citizens of Iraq, Iran, and Petroleum University are also involved in these programs. The members. Interestingly, we have some students who we can see, and the number of the students increases. They will change their citizenship. 30 students applied for Russian citizenship, and our Vice Prime Minister provided the passports to the citizens of Russian Federation. And they're our students. We are also enhancing the medical environment, and over 50 workshops are held at the basis of our clinic. All the leading experts in surgery and rehabilitation operated in our clinic, and our students and residents could use the knowledge of these experts. Gilbert Massart works in our place, and many of other experts work here. It was the victory of the government of the Republic. Fortunately, we emerged from this stagnation, and we have this direction, and we're transforming our reality. Many medical universities and some other universities are moving there. We are building the university's transformation and infrastructure, and we're also fostering educational platforms. The university was the cradle of knowledge 20 or 30 years ago, and now it is the training value of science. We have to produce new scientific knowledge, and we have make special structure at our university. We rely on the campus which will be built, and we will concentrate our leading-edge resources in the educational area while integrating with these resources in this territory. In partnership with other universities, we are also reconstructing our central university campus. We documented and confirmed this program at the territory of our university. When a person enters this medical university in Ufa, he should understand that he is in the sancta sanctorum of medical science, and we are moving in this direction. We are enhancing our campus environment. We would like to thank the government of our republic. We will reconstruct the residence place in order to recruit more students. They used to be our patients, and now they are our patients and our doctors. And this resource is truly available, and it allows us to purchase equipment and to financially provide for our aims. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pavlov. Of course, the medical university is today one of the most advanced universities of the region in terms of expert. That's why we hope for you, we hold our hopes on you. Not only the Petroleum University is up to be the expert center. Dear colleagues, we need to understand that campus is not the most important thing. It is more important, it is important very much, but we are going to focus on other items as well. We think by 2024 we will have managed to celebrate the University of Ufa, and we will have attained some results by that time. Also, I'm going to introduce Ms. Li Fan, the major partner of the university that has been just presented is the People's Republic of Chinese. And together they exchange students, conduct researches and conferences. In 2019, the leading partner of our university was Tilinsky University, and it was managed by the Chinese Ministry of Science. The research was dedicated to the biology and microbiology. Together, the university in Chinese and the Bashkir Medical University conducted the conference dedicated to the virus and to the prevention measures of the COVID-19. So I am happy to introduce Ms. Li Fan. You are given the floor. She is a professor, the doctor of medicine, and director of a Chinese university. So we would like you to tell about the prospects of our cooperation and your own life hacks and your own view of the development and of the situation. We are pretty alike, you know. Yeah, ni hao. Good afternoon.
In the China now is afternoon. I will be say good afternoon.
Okay, please continue.
我非常感谢呢，亚历山大等。
Thank you very much, Mr. Pavlov, for the fact that you just told about the prospects of our cooperation. Thank you. Thank you for saying the project that we are implementing together, about the reforms that we are working on. I would like to tell you about our university. We cooperate with Pasteur University, and the university provides us with a long-term cooperation. Of course, the basis of our cooperation is the following. Let me outlook it briefly. Our rectors of our two universities are rectors of medical universities, and they initiated a strong cooperation. Mr. Pavlov and Mr. Ziling University are highly interested in the cooperation. They shook hands and showed the high level of trust. Probably our rectors haven't yet known that university has been chosen as the one to be focused on. We are going to be partners. Your university is the place of high interest for the Pasteur University. We cooperate with the Institute of Infectious Contagious Diseases. I hope that in the future we will attract even more students to your universities for them to have an internship, for example. They will also get a scholarship. And probably it will be possible to get the Confucius University scholarship. I need to point out that such a program has been supported by both parties. And I hope that in the future our students will be able to get an internship in such a nice university of yours. And our professors who have been acknowledged by your country will also get a chance to use this program for cooperation and for their experience. And your nice university will give us a chance to improve our knowledge and share our own with you. So such a reform of the education, such a program exchange will be pretty interesting for us. And the Ziling University is growing on its scale. It is the biggest university in China, and I believe it has the highest number of students. So, therefore, you can take a look at the picture. We have over 70,000 students. These are 40,000 bachelor students. And more than 20,000 students of major programs. We have about 1,500 of foreign students. We are trying to attract even more students from abroad. Therefore, now in China, of course, obviously, we are suffering and struggling through the viral pandemic, but we do our utmost to make the pandemic not influence the process of education, and we are trying to focus on in offline studies and lectures. Please, could you switch on the next slide? Yes, this one. Obviously, you can see that this slide shows that 13 studies that our university is offering makes us enter the ESI rating. And 2 studies that we are offering are occupying first 2 places in the rating. In medicine, it makes us think that the preparation that we do, the basis that we provide, is really good. Next slide, please. Besides, you may see that we focus on research and studies. We have a national laboratory. We have 5 of them. We have 1 engineering laboratory. On the next slide, on the next slide, you may see, my dear colleagues, that we have a wide network of international cooperation. In total, we cooperate with over 300 universities and research institutes. We cooperate with more than 40 countries and regions. We are trying to focus on the top universities. 67 of our partners are in the top 200 list of best universities in the world. I'd like to continue with the following idea. Our distinguished colleague from Russia told about the cooperation network that they have and the facilities that they have. I'd like to point out that Dillon University has 1,603 foreign students from overall 115 countries. The medical faculty has 602 foreign students. For us, it is the biggest program dedicated to foreign students in medical specialties. I'd like to continue with the fact that our university has 4 affiliated hospitals. In the Bitchin Medical Department, this is the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd hospitals and a dental clinic. The total area of these clinics is over 615,000 square meters. The medical faculty is now occupied by 8,500 students in total. Almost 4,000 students are students of bachelor's programs, and about 3,000 are PhD students. We actively use the developments made by the Clinical Skill Training Center. So far, we and our university are teaching complexes of studies. Our education includes various spheres, and the students can choose the projects and the disciplines that they would like to study. They have a chance to cooperate with Russian colleagues. We want our students to pay attention to the Russian studies, such as their researches in anatomy and other clinical researches. The goal of our education is to provide the further cooperation with Pasteur University and Dios University. We should deepen and strengthen our relations. Within 2 years, I believe, we will manage to facilitate the educational programs both in your university and in our own, and we will manage to provide students with our educational programs. We would like to point out that we provide doctoral and postdoctoral programs. So if you would like to get any postgraduate education, you're welcome. We have a huge basis, not for only medical studies, but for other diverse specialties. Of course, now all these people who are our students now have a chance to get an associated degree. We cooperate with foreign partners, and it allowed us to create some new specialties. So the cooperation of our university and the government and educational institutions of the Republic of Bashkortostan and Russia, we will be able to enhance the new disciplines, the new courses, the new programs, and it will allow us to provide more opportunities to the students. And our Russian students will get more implemented potential. So Russian students also can get education in China. Let me speak about the students, what we are providing them with. They get not only Chinese diploma, but they can also get a diploma that will be acknowledged overseas. I should say that in the US, there are such programs, and we are happy to cooperate with our foreign partners. This is the work that we are conducting. It is displayed in the table. The students who return after studying abroad, they return to China, and you can see the statistics for the 2018 and 2019. The table displays their employment, and you can see that 51% of former students continue working in hospitals. Some of them work in educational institutions, some of them work in business or continue their education in universities. When you graduate, and if you're a foreign student, you will be more likely to come home. But you will be more likely also to follow your specialty and work according to your education. And I believe that the quality of our education will be found helpful and efficient for the future profession. And this is it, what I was going to tell you today. Our Zilin University, our situation that we have, and the new methods and practices that we are implementing. So we would like to share our experience with the government of the Republic of Bashkortostan. And I hope that we are not really far from one another. We are on the northwest of China. We are close to China, and I guess we will be able to make use out of these advantages. We can update our cooperation, facilitate it, make it more dynamic, and we will help out the professional development and the professional education of our countries. Within the reforms that you were speaking about, we will be able to get the result. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Liu. It was truly bulky, and I was interested with the slide how employment of foreign graduates takes place, how they are distributed in the government or in business or in medicine. Still, it is typical of our education. It is truly impressive. Dear colleagues, you heard of 2 hospitals and 1 clinic. Our medical university handles 1 hospital, but your graduate and compatriot was in charge of our hospital, the largest hospital of our republic. Thank you. Dear colleagues, let us move forward. Our 2nd university, which has also contributed into our education expert. It is the State Oil Technical University, our pivotal university, which has special Scopus and Hirsch indicators. 1,400 students of different countries of the world are studying at this university, and they are focused on experts of education and vocational training. And we hope that the oil complex of the strategic and academician leadership will be promoted. We may find out which view you have on the oil state university and what it will have in 5 or 10 years. Alexandra, thank you for giving the floor to me, and I'll try to outline it in brief. Valentin has already mentioned the cooperation with the oil fraternity, and I will also involve our students who also give their presentations. Could you please switch on it? It is not a coincidence that the year 2020 is heralding our anniversary. When 10 years ago we launched the programs of training the foreign students. They came from Cuba and they became our students. And we are now celebrating 35 years of this era. And our story of educational experts is significant, and you can see figures on this slide. Let me draw your attention to the fact that 1,422 foreign students out of 53 countries, and also 64 countries given additional training. Still, these figures do not have the strategic meaning because our overpopulation is blatant, and we are also cooperating with other universities, and we have lots of residences, and we witness augmentation, substantive augmentation. Thus, we hope on inter-university campus, where we are ready to handle at least 50% of the places which we are currently creating, and the others feel a little bit uncomfortable. Yes, we did warn you. Alexander, you can see the statistics of recruitment on this slide. So the figures of extra additional university. Our university is in top 5 universities on experts of additional education. The activity of our university is of prime importance. We are not competing within the territories. We are competing within the Russian Federation. And we can also see our global competitors and partners. And key figures on internationalization are mentioned in global ratings. Let me highlight that we are occupying the leading positions. We are occupying the 9th place among all the universities of the Russian Federation, and we have also got local ratings in Central Asia and some other regions. What does international promotion in this area is mentioned? It is in Petroleum University. We have forced practices and significant limitation on enrollment potential related to residency. Thus, we opted for another strategy. Jointly with the Agrarian University, we have launched The network program of interaction with the Kazakhstan Agrarian Technological University, we enrolled almost 100 students from Kazakhstan, and they study the format of network interaction because we cannot have them right here, and they not study remotely. There is no place in the residency right now, and now we are curtailing the need for residences. For the second and the third year of education, they will switch to another step, and they will be present at the classes. As for effectuation of international activity, we are actively applying the traditional framework in which we are involved. I am the co-president of the Association of Russia and Azerbaijan, and we are not only tackling experts of technology of Azerbaijan, but also research and development, and we are fostering R&D expertise, because if your graduates and those who are providing the operation of technological facilities are your graduates, it is much easier to facilitate these processes. Let me draw your attention to the fact with which we are dealing at our university. They're represented from the main countries from which our foreign students are arriving. We are making rooms dedicated to certain countries. Training values are dedicated to Kazakhstan, Vietnam, Tajikistan. This experience is truly interesting, and it is scalable for other universities. It is not just a conventional room where Russians and other students may familiarize themselves with cultural peculiarities and cultural exhibits, but it is also the point of gravity for the students. We have one of the largest diasporas of Angola students. All the local events do take place there. We may make this practice scalable. Some universities, some other events are reproducible. We're not pioneering in them. We can see sports events. Let me emphasize that the events which take place at oil universities are exposed to all the foreigners. As for Volunteers University, it handles more than 2,000 students, and they are actively involved in these programs. They have the open nature. Campus should be exposed to everyone, and we will enhance this practice. Let me also draw special attention to the fact that our university is a core chairman in the Association of Universities of Russia and Azerbaijan. And here you can see the key direction of the university's activity. And I'll highlight the network interaction of our universities. There is a limitation imposed by the Ministry of Education of Azerbaijan. Other traditional areas of activity are fully implemented. There is an important tool of promoting partner universities. The special role is played by the expert academician community. And Bashkortostan universities which are participating in these sectors are invited to be involved in this conference. Yesterday I added another slide, but I didn't manage to show it. It is of paramount importance for the students to go to other countries or to their home countries or to stay in our countries. Still, they will not feel detached from this academic environment, And I was impressed by the takeaways of this project. 6 months ago, we launched the internet radio. It is oil radio, which is functioning in industrial mode. On the half hour, 2,000 people are listening to it on a daily basis, and only 11% of users are the Russians. The others are the Polish, the Ukrainians, the population of Kazakhstan and other countries. Interestingly, it is very important We should not only educate our students, they also have to follow the positive steps in the right direction in terms of education. And it is a benefit for the university and for the company. They must be ideological advocates for the policy of the Russian Federation. It is also material to us to transfer the parts of our Ufa University and Ufa City and the Republic of Bashkortostan. If students go to other countries, they will take these parts of our city, and they will not feel detached from the university and from the Republic. For this reason, we triggered this project. Using your best practices, Alexander, let me invite you to enter our board of trustees. Yes. Okay, we're satisfied with it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oleg, thank you. We're dealing with Eurasia. Still, we do not have any external borders. We're surrounded by our neighbors, and our next guest, whom I would like to give the floor, is Dmitry Mayevsky. He is in charge of Omsk State Technological University. They have the vast border outstretch with our Kazakhstan population, and there is also significant overlapping in the cultural aspect. And we are cooperating with Omsk and with government. Maybe Omsk will be part of our REC. Still, the time is limited for application, but we did carry out these talks. It is not complicated for me to understand what happens in this university, in Omsk University. Our university is living under the conditions of harsh competitiveness. We are still ready to survive at the inter-regional marketplace. Dmitry, the floor is yours. Yes, Alexander. Let me give you a warm welcome to you. Let me congratulate you on the victory.
You didn't manage to make friends with the neighboring regions, but we still have strong contacts in the sphere of petroleum education. Let me show you a little presentation. Omsk State Technical University, unlikely to the colleagues presenting before, was created as the source of professionals for the industry that was presented in the region at that time. The international activity, as many regional universities, was initiated in the early 1990s. And obviously, we focused on the neighboring countries, on our neighbors in Central Asia. You said that your focus is Arabic countries. So pretty much the same was true about our country in terms of Asian countries. The figures are the following. We have about 2,000 foreigners as our students. I'd like to emphasize that we majorly invite students from Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, and we have little students from further countries. The ratings. Our technical university has a pretty good position. We realized that if we go up, we will have to build partnership worldwide, not only in the Commonwealth of Independent States. We focus on engineering education. We occupy the 22nd place. The national Interfax rating gives us the middle of the rating. We have approximately 10th place. one of the most important projects implemented by our university was taking place in 2017, and we had a Russian-Chinese incubator of professionals. The China universities allowed us to focus on the technological and young business. We accompanied young people who are interested in building internship between two countries. That's why we managed to build pretty strong partnership between two universities. Unfortunately, we have to suspend the Russian language studying course for the school children to have a chance to study in Russia. But we will go back to this project later on. From the point of view of West direction, we have Erasmus project. It involved about 20 universities, both European and Asian. We invited Kazakhstan to this project, and the project allowed us to get a permit. Our students presented their final papers in terms of Portuguese business. We have strong relations with Kazakhstan. Together, we conducted a small and medium business forum of our two countries. We have strong relations with Kazakhstan. Usually, it leads to 250 people coming to the University of Gumilev to have an internship. And our students spent a term at the university in China. Omsk used to be the agglomeration center for the USSR period. And now the majority of the territory of this agglomeration is concentrated in Kazakhstan. But now we have a border between us, and we are two different countries. But we still have process chains that connect our coal extraction business. And this business goes on and on. So we train engineers and industrial professionals for the sake of this business. Mobility. Our mobility is provided thanks to grants of the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Education of other countries. Annually, our students leave for different countries in order to get an internship. In order to make our university more international, some of our foreign students are active participants of the life of our university in terms of culture, sports, and different clubs, including the hiking club. This is it. Thank you very much. I would like to announce the project that we are launching in Omsk soon. The colleagues that are taking part in this event will tell more details about this project. We are opening the project of Central Asia, and I am inviting you to take part in this project. The project will be dedicated to the youth internship, and the main direction of the project will be the design, urbanism, and those directions who are the most vital for today's reality. Thank you very much. Dear colleagues, we are definitely going to discuss this issue with your friends. We are running out of time. We are behind the schedule, but I'm ready to sacrifice my lunch, and I would like to listen to those speakers who we've been speaking about. We are talking about the expert of education. We are talking about foreign students. But foreign students are presented here today with us. We are sitting with them at the same table. And we have a question to you. What influenced your choice? Why did you choose Russia? Why did you choose Bashkortostan? What do we have to change to make the environment more friendly? How can we attract more of your friends from your country to come to us? What are our growth points? I'm happy to give the floor to 3 students, and I'm happy if they could take the floor. Who can speak? Hello, dear guests and participants. My name is Ivan Blazgaitan. I am a PhD student at the Petroleum University.
Извините, если я неправильно.
Нормально.
Я полностью согласен с вами по поводу рейтинга и обучения в Башкортостане.
I studied in Bashkortostan because I came from another city. I came from Kazan. And we are studying at Oil University. I have good educational background. The problem of foreign students are linked to practices and work and internship and work because foreigners can now conduct the internship. Still, when we go to the company, when we are employed, we will depend on foreign governments, and we also face another problem. We have a chance to be with you. Still, how can a foreigner live and work after education? We come from another country. We cannot go to study overseas where we would like to. And being a foreigner, coming from another country, we will have a chance to find a workplace. It is an obligation for other countries. We have to find a job after graduating in other countries. Here, we cannot imagine how you can solve this problem because it is hard to find work. And we are extremely exhausted. We do ask our university, but we cannot realize why they cannot solve the problem of employment. Being a member of your republic, you may solve it. Thank you for your attention. Yes, we have already mentioned the fact that it is impossible to undergo internship. The ambassador of Uzbekistan mentioned it, and we have to use all the tools. And our senators will be involved in this area. And we will discuss it in the scientific communities. Still, there are some domains where no countries will allow foreigners to work, such as healthcare, for instance, in healthcare, there are no limitations. As for oil production, this area is secluded. But there are no problems in medicine and healthcare. Let me reiterate. Still, we have to find some extra deliverables. And it is also cold here. It is minus 20 degrees Celsius. Isn't it confusing? Still, we have beautiful women. Still. Dear colleagues, I have a crib paper that Bagrat Salimov, student from Kazakhstan, will also deliver a presentation. And Rahman Manje will give a floor. Well, will you give a floor? Will you take a floor? Yes. Good afternoon, dear colleagues and participants of the conference. My name is Bagdan. I'm the student of the 5th year of oil university. Apart from studying, I'm the chairman of the Association of the Students of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Our university handles approximately 600 students from Kazakhstan and over 1,000 students in Bashkortostan. Why is our oil university so attractive? First and foremost, it has a substantive status. It is a pivotal university of Russia. It also provides a large choice of professions in the area of oil and gas. And there is also a meaningful inflow of knowledge. Let me also emphasize our graduates who are top managers and valuable employees of chief companies, ministers of energy, ministers of oil and gas, and they are involved in governments of and authorities of regions. Let me thank our oil university. Thank you for your attention. Yes. You're brave and especially. Are there any colleagues who would like to say something? Yes, I'm Aki Abdurrahman. I'm the student of the 4th year of Curing University of Pigmo. Yes. Yes, let me mention that I know my university.
I would like to mention the quality of education. I think it is profound here, but it is also something that students are searching for. And we got a really good education here. I would like to point out one issue that I'm facing, that we have, so to say, in Ufa and in Russia. It is the only problem is accommodation, dormitory. We need to have a better accommodation, and as we usually live in our hometown. We also would like to ask about a chance to work here. We want to get a diploma here and we want to get employed here. We want to get medical services here. And we want to be equal to ordinary students. There are many teachers who speak English very well, but we do not. And we want also our teachers to have a more improved level of English. This is something that we crave for. Thank you. Firstly, dear colleagues and students, thank you very much for speaking, for taking the floor. It takes a lot of courage to do so. I realize that pandemic scares us a lot, and it is a great challenge to all of us, and it is a great challenge for a foreigner especially. For example, if I go somewhere abroad and I face the pandemic, of course I will be experiencing really tough times, you know. And to sort it out will be very difficult. And I hope a lot that next year we will not be facing it as much as we do this year. I guess this is the end of our discussion. We had a live and fruitful conversation, and I'm very grateful for my position of a moderator. And we got deep into details. We discussed the growth points of our education. We discussed it on our regional scale, and we released some issues. The quality of our higher education and its price are something that we can compete with other universities with. Of course, we're not the leaders, but it is something to be improved, and we focus not on our rating, but on our students. I heard what infrastructure points we should develop. We should go to the sports areas, to go to the laboratory, do something together. We need to provide opportunities for our researchers. They need enough facilities because they cannot provide their researchers, for example, somewhere at home. And if you once were interested in such an activity, you had this misfortune to get an experience at home. It wasn't any pleasure at all. So now I see what we have to work on. Now I see what we can improve, We need to communicate, we need to cooperate, and no online forum can provide us as much result as an offline forum. And even if we rely on the DDA, it doesn't mean that we need to focus only on this student. Maybe our abiturient has some more advantages. We need to learn the background of our students, and we need to hunt best students. We need to implement some functional changes. There are some things that we have to improve. We need to allow students to get internship in medical institutions in Russia at least. And we need to provide students with all the guarantees and tools that students need, such as insurance, for example. What about the petroleum university? It is more difficult because Bashneft is not really ours, and we have some peculiarities about this industry, but it is something to be sorted out, and we are going to think over it. Of course, maybe we are just having our last-minute call, but we shouldn't miss this chance for improvement, because there will be other universities. Thank you very much, dear colleagues, for taking part in this discussion. I think we had a really fruitful conversation. I am grateful to our offline guests, for those who were listening to us on the online stream. Thank you, and this is over. Good luck. Take care. Goodbye.